Good morning, Gears. Well, okay, first off, it's not really morning. It's almost 1 p.m. actually, but to be fair, it's actually, oh shit, it's 1:30. To be fair, I woke up at about 11:45. So it's not entirely my fault. You know, all I've done is, like, I haven't done anything today. I did like maybe like 2 work emails and then made my coffee, went to the bathroom, and then I sat in queue for 30 minutes trying to play some Gears of War on PC, which, by the way, I'm on PC. I feel like I should put my roadie run to shift, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm on PC. I'm also on core. I'm also on core. I spent 30 minutes in queue trying to find a trying to find an escalation game. 30 minutes, by the way. 30. And I could not do it. And I'm sorry if I lose my train of thought more in this than normal, but this is way harder than normal. But what is up, guys? It has been a long time since I've done one of these. I normally try to get these uploaded on Monday. But I'll be honest, like the whole Blackout and Call of Duty thing has really got everything like kind of messed up in my schedule, because I've been playing like super late at night and till super early in the morning, and I just my whole schedule's messed up. But we are here. We got our iced coffee. You guys will get this on Thursday. So when you're watching this, it is Thursday. I'm recording this on Wednesday. Today's Wednesday? No, today's Tuesday. I don't know what today is. I'm recording this on not Thursday, obviously. But yeah, this is Gears of War 4 on PC. Really heavily relying on the strafe here because wall bouncing on PC is very difficult. I'm using mouse and keyboard. I'm not using, you can have it. I'm not using a controller on PC like I normally do when I play PC. Just straight up mouse and keyboard. I don't know. I really just need to commit to getting good with mouse and keyboard again with all the Blackout I've been playing, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, that's mine. I can't. Oh, that's the wrong button. Oh, I can pick it up and cover. Ooh. What? Oh my, that should have been a headshot. So this episode, I really want to talk about content in Gears of War, because that's kind of been like the hot topic in the community for the past like week or so. Everybody's been talking about, you know, how players and how pro players should be doing more, like uploading content, and how content creators have been talking about there's not, like, the game doesn't, you know, give you a whole lot to do content around, I guess, like nothing new or fresh or interesting that would make people want to watch. So, and I'm kind of in a weird position where I create content, so I get the content creators, but I'm also a big advocate of pro players getting off their lazy asses and making content, my guys included. And they know I call them lazy for it. So this is not me like hiding, like me insulting them in the video or something. Oh, you're on my team. This is me being honest with you guys. I know the reality of the situation. I know. Oh my! I know that, you know, the ability to create content, the time to create content is there. So let's talk more about it, and let's talk about some of the excuses that people give. You know, why they don't create content around years, things like that. Let's start with the pro player side, because I have a unique perspective. I get to see and interact with these guys. I basically live with these guys, and they're some of the best in the game at what they do. So I feel like my unique perspective on all that can really be insightful. Oh, I really wanted to kill that kid. So a lot of the pro players talk about, and we've heard players like Shock, who's now switched over to Call of Duty, say that they're so focused on winning that they are unable to make content. So let's kind of break down that argument a little bit. And it's not just Shock, by the way. So this is not me like calling out Shock. This is just a name that I know has specifically said that statement. So I want to use him as an example. But others have said similar things. My guys included have said similar things, that, you know, they're focused on being the best, so they don't have time. But to create, you know, to have that argument, let's say like you are a full-time pro player. Let's use my guys as an example in their schedules. Oh, my guys. Hold on a second. My guys practice, I won't say the most out of any team, but our practice works for us. We practice 5 days a week. Well, yeah, we practice 5 days a week. Like scrimmage 5 days a week, I should say. Those scrims are from... let's see, 7 p.m. Eastern time is kind of like the start of the first scrim block, and that's true for all pro teams. Every now and then you'll see a scrim start a little bit earlier, but realistically, no scrim starts before then. And so you've got a solid 7 p.m. start time Eastern. Scrims, the latest scrim block is the 11 p.m. block, which means that scrim block ends at about 1 a.m. Ow. That scrim block ends at about 1 a.m. So you've got, at absolute most, which hardly anybody does, at least not consistently, and we especially don't, you've got 6 hours. We do 4 hours. We do the 7 to 9 block and the 9 to 11 block, which for us is 6 to 8 and 8 to 10. And then we call it a day. Now, that doesn't include like if we spend a little time afterwards going over VOD, but I'll be honest with you guys, that rarely happens where we stay like late and go over VOD, unless it's like a particularly frustrating scrim that we want to, you know, review, or there's something specific that I want to show the guys that they did wrong or did right, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But otherwise, that doesn't really happen too much. I'll be honest with you guys. That or we'll show up to practice a little bit early, and we'll watch VOD from there. Like, we'll watch VOD on the first half. Well, that's annoying. And I'm dead. So normally my rule is we get to the house at 5:30, or we get on at 5:30 and start warming up. So let's just make it 5. Say we review for a half hour, because that's pretty much the earliest I do. I don't want to cram them with too much VOD footage before a match. I mean, before a scrim, because I feel like that won't get retained as well. And you want to do it in kind of short bursts, especially with like their attention spans. So I'll do a short VOD review before, on like the longest possible day. We'll do a short VOD review. Oh, I bricked them. And then warm up and then scrim. So let's just say 5 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10. So we've got 5 hours of practice on our long days. And then we have Fridays off, and Saturdays we scrim. Sunday we play the 2K. Good Lord. So that's our average weekly schedule. Oh man. That's our average weekly schedule. So anything we do past that, if we do extra time, if we're working on something, like when this team first came together, we did a lot of 3 scrim block days because we knew we had a lot to work on to kind of get up to our standard, and we were putting in the time to do that. So in that, you know, let's say that we'll do the max time, 5 hours of the day. Days are 24 hours, so that leaves you with 19 hours. 19 hours left in your day. Let's say you sleep for 10. Now like studies show that kind of the max for this age range, which we're talking like anywhere from 18 to 23, you're looking at needing 8 to 10 hours of sleep. 10 being the max, 8 being kind of like the average. So 9 would be a nice median. That's about how much time you're expected to commit to sleeping, and another 2 hours throughout the day for food. So that's 11 hours out of your 19 that you had left gone. That leaves you with 8 more hours in the day. Let's say you have another 2 hours of personal stuff to take care of, and 2 hours of family, girlfriend, significant other time, right? So that's 4 more hours. We had 8 left. That puts us down to 4 hours left in our day. We've already accounted for sleeping. We've accounted for food. We'll count another hour just for like hygiene. Like if you need to, I don't know, like taking your showers and stuff. Let's say you need to take an hour for a shower or a bath or whatever the case may be. We've accounted for like personal time, like so grocery shopping, work, paying bills, answering emails, whatever the hell you have to do in your day. Which, remember, these guys don't have a lot in their day. A lot of stuff is provided for them. They have to grocery shop, do their own food, and pay their internet bill. But other than that, so we're still sitting on, and we're being overly generous here, we're still sitting on 3 hours left of time in the day for these guys to be able to do something. Now, again, this is me like estimating numbers. This is me kind of rounding up based on like how I know my team's practice schedule is. So this can't apply blanket across everyone, but at the same time, we're currently the best team in the game. So I feel like it's pretty fair to say that if we can get away with this, you know, obviously there's natural talent on our team that helps a lot, but if we can get away with this, then a lot of other teams could potentially as well. So we still got 3 hours left in the day. It takes me, for this video, it'll take me about maybe an hour, hour and a half total. You've got about 30 minutes, 45 minutes of recording time, 20 minutes to edit it, which I don't do a whole lot for editing. I just have to like cut off like the beginning where I started recording early, cut off the end where I, like after I say my outro, slap my intro onto it and render it. And the rendering, it can do that while I'm doing other stuff. Like I don't need to be sitting here present to watch my computer render it. So super simple, super easy. The longer videos take me an hour, so we can even say that. So we've got, we'll say an hour to record, an hour to edit. The rendering can happen while you're showering, while you're doing other stuff. And then same with uploading. Like once you click upload, that all can take place while you're doing other stuff. So I really don't, I've still got an hour left in my day, in my big schedule, I believe, where I've done practice, I've slept for 10 hours or whatever I said. I practiced, I've slept, I've done food, personal time. Maybe I'm adding this up wrong. I couldn't get my shot off. So let's say sleep for 9, practice for 5, that's 14, personal time plus family time, that's another 4, that's 18. That leaves me with 6 more. Damn. 6 more. I gave a total of 3, so that's 3 more. So that's another hour, 2 hours for eating. There's 1 more hour left over for showering, I think. So yeah, it all adds up. Yet there are still pro players, and my guys included, who, and several other teams, right? This is not just me picking on my guys. I bully my guys enough about it. There are several teams and players who still don't do content. With that being their schedule, They don't take opportunity or advantage of the opportunity to do content, knowing that they'll be, you know, some of the most watched, most popular people, that they'll only have potential to grow until they hit the ceiling that Gears of War has, in which case they can go past that, like several examples have before them. See Nick Merckx, see CDN the Third, see High Distortion, see Camille's, all of which are Gears pros who didn't even really do content that much as far as I'm aware for Gears, but really capitalized on the Fortnite movement and hit their stride. So I don't see a reason why my team, Echo Fox, Ghost, all of these teams that are full time can't do more. Now, that schedule I grossly overestimated, and obviously there are teams who are going to want to practice more, right? Like I know Ghost, at least according to Fatal Strike, puts in a lot of hours of VOD review. So adjust the schedule some, and find the time to add that in as well. Casey Neistat actually recently just uploaded a really interesting video kind of on this subject about how to find like more time in your day, and he was talking to ex-Marine lieutenant sergeant, something like that, who wrote several books about like time management and discipline and improve, like not self-help books, but kind of like self-help books, like that same kind of genre, I guess. And it's super interesting, like hearing his, like how he pieced together, like he knows at the end of every day, he has time where it was normally like his Netflix and chill time. And he just put that at the beginning of the day. So he wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, which sounds crazy, but he made that his productive alone time because there's nobody awake. So you have no notifications, nothing's happening on social media, so no distractions. It sounds like a pretty good plan. And I found that super interesting. Obviously, it can't really apply to gamers as much, but that same idea can. So instead of waking up at 1 p.m. or noon because you're up until 6 a.m., my team, they could do something where they wake up at 10 a.m. like I was, like I normally do, and okay, we need to, oh, he died. Wake up at 10 a.m. and then, what? Damn, I bricked him with that. Waking up at 10 a.m. and then having that morning of like 10, 11, 12 that they normally don't have to do something productive, to get something done. In this case, content. Now, this is obviously just including YouTube videos. Streaming is a whole different beast because streaming is much more time consuming. Like a YouTube video, I grossly overestimated how long it takes to make a YouTube video. Like I gave way too much time to do it. I gave an hour for recording. I gave an hour for editing. But streaming is, you know, especially if you want to get serious into streaming, you're looking at 6 hours of your time, at least. I was doing 3 hours a day, five days a week. And that was helping me grow significantly, but it wasn't the same as like if I was doing more full time. So there's definitely more I could have been doing. And oops, no, I always scroll down. So there's definitely more I could have been doing. Now, that being said, I feel, and this is me personally, and this is coming from the coach of the #1 team in the game, I feel that scrims should be streamed. I feel like the amount of information that happens in scrims, most teams, first off, have coaches who are sitting there, they're recording, they're watching everything. And, you know, if you're like, for example, someone like me, I've often recorded other people's streams just so we can watch the rebroadcast of that later. So I might extend this into another game. There's a kid who has me on swords. Damn. If this game ends, I'll extend it into another game because I want to keep talking about this because I feel like this is an important episode for me to talk on. So if you're a coach like that, where you like, you know, are doing a lot, then you should see anything that would be hidden by not streaming while you're in the game. Obviously, like that's common sense. Like a coach is going to have a bird's eye perspective. In fact, a coach is going to see more than you would in a stream. The only benefit of the stream is you have comms. So I don't know how much that actually helps, but I mean, maybe it could, but that's only more, hearing comms is more entertainment value when you're watching a rebroadcast. Then it provides much information. I mean, like you can hear like where teams know that they have weaknesses, but realistically, if the team's good, you only hear like, if they're calling out their weaknesses, they're working on fixing those weaknesses. So, you know, I just don't see the point of not streaming scrims. I say that to my team as well. I feel like at this point, the maps have been out for so long. The meta has been the same for so long. Really not a whole lot new is going to happen. The Gears of War PC experience. Long queue times, long waits. Apparently just freezing in the... I can't even spin my character around like... Hopefully we actually load into this one. I've been doing this. I've been sitting here for so long that the ice is almost gone in my iced coffee. All right, so I actually don't remember what specifically I was talking about. I know that I was talking about streaming, but I don't know where I was in that conversation. So I'm just gonna start that over, and then maybe in post, if I repeated myself, I'll edit. But if you're streaming, it's, you know, it's gonna take, I was streaming, like I said, Monday through Friday, 3 hours a day, just so I had time to do my real life stuff and have time to, you know, do everything else. So I think I need to adjust and start getting used to wider POVs. But look at this kid. Oh, no one's in here. Thought somebody was. Oh, I missed. Oh, I'm dead. So if you want to like really commit to the stream grind, stream like 4 to 6 hours a day. Do it every single day. I should have not been taking breaks. I noticed that every Monday when I came back, more like it was almost like resetting, and I should have just committed to the grind. I'm missing every shot. I should have just committed to the grind, but I didn't, and that's my, like, only my fault. But for pro players, you know, you don't have other things that you really have to do, so like commit to the stream grind. And the reason that everybody talks about content being so important is because if you can build an individual fan base for yourself, and you can put more content out there that people want to watch of the game, like more promotional stuff, it only goes to help. It helps everyone. It helps you. It helps the game. Oh, I'm dead. It helps you. It helps the game, and it's like a very symbiotic relationship. For those who don't know what that means, it means like both of you are, watch it. I'm gonna define this and be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it means both of you are like, both parties are benefiting. Now I'm nervous and I want to look it up. I'm gonna sound really stupid or really smart. That's pretty much always though. Damn, good shot. So look at Fortnite and look at how much it blew up, and how much of that you can attribute to how much and how big Ninja got from it. Like obviously the game had its like various aspects going for it, but Ninja's stream blowing up and becoming absolutely massive, and the content creation that was involved in it, and the promotion that people gave the content creators to expose them more, is like all contributed to the game. Now the game obviously is interesting, it's dynamic, it's diverse, every game is different, building became a thing, like it's continually growing to be something different and new, which Gears of War doesn't have, but it's still, there's still something that you can do in the content world. It helps grow the game, and it helps grow you, and the more the game grows, the more you could potentially make money, the more that you could potentially take that audience that you grow and go somewhere else, because they'll follow you because they like your personality, not just because of the game you're playing. I don't know how to TACCOM on PC, so I don't know how to check if weapons are up. It's kind of frustrating. Oh, I'm dead. So there's so many benefits to it, right? And the more that you grow your personal brand, the more you do your content and you become a figurehead, the more power and weight you hold. So if you're a pro player and your career ends, you know, for just because you're not good anymore, because of old age, because of whatever the case may be, you now have options because your brand is so big. Look at people, again, like Ninja, who don't need to worry about being a pro player, who don't need to worry about being the best in the game, because their brand is so big that they're selling 6-7 figure sponsorships, and they're doing guest appearances on Ellen and getting tweeted out by Ellen, who has 77 million Twitter followers. Things like that, you have to, I mean, that's obviously like an extreme. Ninja's like an anomaly of like what the norm is. Nobody's ever been as big as that or gotten as big as that, but it still shows the possibilities. You know, a year ago, 2 years ago, nobody would have said, man, there's gonna be a guy who's gonna play Fortnite or like a BR game with Drake and some other like pretty big name hip hop artists, and then grow so insanely big and then be on Ellen. Nobody thought that. So right now, nobody thinks that anybody can like be massive on Gears of War, but who knows what Gears of War 5 is gonna hold and what potential possibilities are gonna be there. You know, we're in a great period of time for people to grow their brands, because all you've got coming up is within the next year, more than likely, a new game with fresh content. So in this year, you can kind of figure out how you want to upload, you can learn to edit, you can learn a right schedule, rhythm, pattern, you can kind of get into the groove, get familiar with everything. And then by the time Gears of War 5 comes out, you've got all of that perfected, and you're ready for the actual popular stuff to start going off. So this is really the ideal time for potential new content creators to like come up, like to start doing their thing. And a lot of people are missing that opportunity, and pro players especially would have the biggest audience because everybody wants to watch people who are good at the game. That's kind of like the winning formula, right, for content creation. People who are really good, really talented, people who win, and then are doing content. So you look at like OpTic's history, like the Call of Duty team, like Scump, right? You look at people like that who got really big because they were winning everything and they were doing content simultaneously. They were getting their personality out there, showing people, hey, look, I'm a pretty funny human too, and I win. I'm really good. You should watch me because I'm really fucking talented. You might learn a thing, but I'm also a pretty likable guy. Nadeshot, same way. Crimsix, same way. Like all of these OGs in COD had that. So the people who are really good at Gears, the pro players, the top, you know, 1% or whatever, you're only doing yourself, and you're doing the game that you claim to love a disservice by not creating content, by not streaming. I know I was talking about streaming scrims, so I'm gonna touch on that again just to make sure I got my point across. There is nothing new happening in scrims. There are very few trick strats that haven't been seen happening in scrims, and often teams don't even like practice those trick strats. So like scrims are very, very often how you see it in tournaments, minus like 1 or 2 teams running 1 or 2 trick strats. And good Lord. So the fact that people are like hiding things by not scrimming are pretty much delusional. There's nothing that you're hiding. Everybody's seen everything. You're not going to do anything super new. You might have 1 or 2 trick strats up your sleeve. So don't run those strats when you're streaming, or take a night of scrims where you practice those strats. But there's no reason that teams can't be streaming scrims. And again, this is coming from the coach of right now, the #1 team in the game. There is no reason there. I'm not going to go to your stream and see something and be like, oh my God, they do this. I can count on in the 2 years that Gears of War 4 has been out, I can count maybe on 1 to 2 hands how many times that has actually happened. And I watch a lot of streams. I watch an abnormal amount of streams. I watch amateur players streaming. I watch pro players streaming. I'm dead. Nope. So please, like, take it from me. Trust me. If you think you're doing something special that you need to hide on streams, you're not. And if maybe I'll eat my words one day. But from what I've seen, as a team that's playing like more matches than almost any other team in tournament play because we're winning, so we're in the finals or grand finals, you're not. And I would much rather see the game grow. I would much rather see our fan base grow, because people are creating content and giving people reasons to tune in and building storylines, then I would like see secret strategies hidden and pop up, or you know, whatever the case may be. So that's my rant about that. That's my rant about people saying they don't have enough time. That's my rant about streaming and YouTube videos. Now I'm gonna take a different stance. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. I'm gonna argue the other side, and I'm sorry that this Good Morning Gears is kind of long. But I get it. For people like myself, for people like Domes and Shadows and Roar and Avexes, who I haven't seen upload in a while, but I'm still gonna throw his name out there because he creates a good amount of content. For people like that, who do create a good amount of content, or did, or have at some point, and say that there is not a whole lot happening in the game, and that it's like kind of old and stale and repetitive, I get it. I agree with you. I've been preaching that for a long time. I think that the game is in a point where there's no new content that's like significant that's being added. The new maps that were added weren't good. Like, we haven't gotten a single new competitive map this entire time. I shouldn't have rolled. We haven't gotten a single new competitive map this entire time. We got Diner for like a vent or two before everyone was like, ah, screw this. Let's put in something else. We got Forge Blitz instead of Forge, which I don't really count. So, you know, like, the content has been stale, and for content, that's just like competitive content. There's not really been anything like, obviously there's like pack openings, but you can only do so many pack opening videos before your fan base is like, all right, you know, kind of tired of this, or you don't want to spend more money because you're not seeing a return on the videos that justifies you spending the absurd pack prices. So I get it. There's not the new content. There's not the fresh stuff. The game has gotten repetitive. The game modes are repetitive. I get it. There's no leaderboard system, so there's no like grind to #1 or anything like that. I get it. And I'm a big advocate of, like, we need new fresh stuff in the game to make the game like grow. To like make content happen. But all of that being said, there's still stuff that you can do. Now, I have often, and you guys who have been in my YouTube channel for a while know that I try to do new stuff. I try new series, I see how it does, and then I switch it up. And maybe that's part of my problem is I don't stick to series long enough. I don't give them the full like run that they probably deserve. Oh, I'm dead. I don't give them like the full run that they probably deserve. Like I've done a few series where I've done maybe, I think max like 10 episodes, 15 episodes, and then stop the series. And I don't know why. Usually it has to do with like me like putting a pause on my grind for YouTube content or whatever the case may be. Good Morning Gears. I think this is episode 8 or 9. So like there are the occasional ones, but on average, it doesn't really happen that way. Oh my, that was close. And I fully admit that's a fault of mine. That's not anyone else's. So I need to do a better job of sticking to content and continuing on series like Good Morning Gears and things like that. And I see Good Morning Gears being a series that where it's successful enough that I can see it lasting for a while. But I think that I definitely think that what people say about the series, what I've said about the series, is there needs to be more new stuff. So hopefully we can push that in Gears of War 5. So rather than just going on Twitter or going on your social media choice or talking about it in a YouTube video about, oh, they don't have this in Gears of War 4 and I need this to be a good content creator, and whatever your excuse is, maybe you can do actual constructive feedback. And for those of you who don't know what like constructive criticism, constructive feedback is, you give potential solutions to the problems. Like you address the problem, you go, okay, my food is, or your food tastes like ass. So I would suggest you add salt. Or, you know, I'm giving a very dumbed down basic example. I suck for that. I'm giving a very dumbed down basic example, but the point stands. So for Gears of War, there's nothing for me to do for new fresh content. Here are some things you could add to the game that would give me some fresh content. And that's how the developers know, one, that you're seriously putting thought into it. You're not just like another person complaining. And two, you are giving them potential ideas. So like maybe your idea isn't that good or realistic or doable, but it could lead to them having an idea that is realistic, doable, implementable, and they're the perfect people to have come up with those ideas. So make sure that, you know, for content creators and for people out there who are saying that, like me, I'm including myself in this group, who are saying there's no new stuff for us to do, content is stale for Gears, it's gotten old, like it's gotten repetitive. Add potential solutions, add things that they can add or things that they can do into your criticism that can make Gears of War viable for content, because that's what we need. That's what we as a community need. That's what we as individuals need. We need the game to build a fan base. We need, oh my. We need the game to build a fan base. We need people to like create content. We need other people to support the content creators. Like it's a big circle life thing. And if any part of that is missing, it's going to be rough goings. So, that's kind of my rant on that. You know, it's obviously like there's a lot more that goes into it. I made it much simpler than it really is, I think. But the point remains, and I hope you guys kind of understand like where I'm coming from this. So like a quick recap. People need to create content. There's no excuse. You can't talk about time, especially if you're doing this full job. Now, the only time that, kind of going back on this, the only time that you have a valid excuse is if you're working another job or you're going to school while also doing this. And it's still kind of weak, and I'll give you guys a reason why it's kind of weak. I am, as the assistant GM of OpTic, I'm in the office from 10 a.m. until about 4:35 p.m. when I have to leave to get ready for scrims. So that's my day. I wake up at like 8. I get ready. I, you know, have my coffee and do whatever. And I'm in the office by 10, working until 4:30. Leave, go home, change, grab some food or make some food, because I'm an adult and I live, you know, just me and my girlfriend and my dog. And then go to the practice house, get there by 5:30 or 5, depending on the day. Help like get everyone set up, ready for warm-ups and you know, whatever. I schedule all of our scrims. I'm the like so you guys like know I'm the only one in the scrim chats for our team. I'm the sole representative. I schedule all the scrims. Even like if I'm on vacation, I schedule the scrims in advance. Oh, I switched to the wrong gun. That's see, that habit of scrolling down. That's the problem. And the problem is I have shotgun on one of my mouse buttons, so I can just hit the mouse button, but it's been so long. So I do all that. I go to the house. I actively participate or try to actively participate in scrims. There's some nights where I'm just exhausted and the team knows it, and I usually apologize for it. But it usually is based off like stress levels or how well I slept, whatever. So actively participate in scrims, and then you know, scrims end at whatever time, and then call it a night. I'm usually in bed by like midnight, sometimes a little bit later, just kind of depending. And that's it. Like that's the life cycle, right? So the fact that I can, and I still upload 5 days a week. I was still streaming some, not much, not as much as I would like, obviously, because the normal times that I used to have been streaming were office hours. But I was still streaming some. And I just don't understand how, if I can upload Monday through Friday a YouTube video while doing all of that and spending time with my girl and all of this other stuff, spending time with my dog, like all this other stuff, I don't understand how other people can't do that as well. Now, to be fair, what I sacrificed to do that is like my personal free time. So time to, you know, like time to play other games, time to just kind of chill out and hang out and relax. I would spend that time. Now, I did have like relaxation time at night, but I still like, I lost a lot of the time. Like if Blackout had come out, I wouldn't be able to play it nearly as much because I had sacrificed that time. Now I've cleared up my schedule more, so a lot more content's going to be happening. I have a whiteboard up. I'm planning out content. I have some really cool stuff coming, like like things that I haven't seen happen in any esport, which will require you guys to follow my Twitter and my Instagram. Both are in the description below, but make sure you do that. So, you know, it's all about planning your time, planning your schedule, time management, stuff like that. And those are skills that can easily be learned. And if you guys want me to make videos about like time management and managing your schedule and things like that, let me know in the comments down below and I'll happily do so. This has been a super long episode of Good Morning Gears, and I'm fully awake, as you can tell. But either way, I really appreciate you guys. If you're still watching, I appreciate you guys hanging out this entire time. I appreciate you guys tuning into the series every week, and hopefully you appreciate a little bit of a keyboard and mouse gameplay. Even though it was core, you know, that's because I searched for literally 30 minutes to find an escalation game and didn't get one. So thanks. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I'm trying to make it so that I upload 7 days a week, and I'm probably going to make that starting next week. I'm looking at my whiteboard, so make sure you guys subscribe with that. Click the little bell icon so that alerts are on and you know when I upload. Like I said, I've got cool stuff coming probably next week or the week after, so make sure that you follow my Twitter and my Instagram, because that's going to be where that content's posted. I'm really going to push content on those two platforms and try to grow my Instagram more. Guys, you guys are awesome. Create content, support the community, support the content creators, and be excited because great things are coming for this channel. And I think for Gears, I think Gears 5 is going to be, I don't know, I'm optimistic. Even though it's a year out, I'm optimistic. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.